Facts don't care about your feelings.
You're entitled to your own opinion, not entitled to your own facts.
Classic video of Charlie Kirk debating with British liberals. They might be the most pathetic people on the planet Earth, on par with Democrats. And the reason why I'm saying this is because of their ideals are destructive for society. Look at Britain. Left-wing ideological cancer destroyed the once great Britain. And that's why these liberals cannot debate. It's like everything that they say is word salad filled with feelings, emotion, and woke garbage.
I'm kind of interested in the wordplay, specifically Charlie, because I've seen the most of you online, but also Candice, but I'm afraid I have nothing to ask, but specifically Charlie. A lot of the wordplay you use, and a lot of the sources that you draw on, like the statistics, you're very good at just ramping off statistics and throwing them into the person that you're arguing. I was wondering, where do you collect your sources, and do you make them easily accessible?
Of course. Would you like to name an example that I can cite for you now?
I don't question that the things that you're saying are factual. It's more how they are phrased and how they are put to us. So, for example, the thing that you've just said now about abortion, could you quickly remind me so I don't trip over my own
Sure,
words?
I'll do the first one. I say, a celebration of a pregnancy, why do we call that event a baby shower, not a fetus shower?
Right, so that in itself sounds like, oh, right, well, that means there's a cultural acceptance of the idea that it's a baby pre-birth. But that's just a linguistic, cultural way. So I'm pro-choice, for example, but I would still call it a baby shower. That doesn't mean I culturally accept the idea that it's a baby pre-birth.
So you call it a baby, even though you don't think it's a baby?
So if the individual that has the baby shower decides right after the baby shower to have an abortion, what is that inside of her called?
I don't want to do this, if that's all right. I don't want to do abortion.
I know, but you see all of a sudden your argument
can I use a
blows
different
up?
example if abortion is kicking up too much dust?
Say that again.
Can I use a different example
Sure,
of a fact?
that's fine,
Okay.
that's fine.
It kinda exposed their hypocrisy. So he just moved on to the next topic, just to get destroyed again.
And another one was that you said, I think it was the life expectancy in Cuba was 15 years lower than that in the United States.
Yeah, if the government doesn't kill you, right.
Right, democide. But I looked it up as well, and I found there was no information on that. And in fact, the Google definition, which draws on, it cites many different studies, and it fills it all in and it pulls it all together, and it chooses the most reasonable response that's backed up by facts and logic. It said that it was actually a year older than the US. So how do you, especially when you're I think it's called galloping, when you're throwing so many points in a debate, do you not think it's unfair and unreasonable and maybe at points even manipulative to be phrasing things in a certain way that might be, when beyond scrutiny, it's like me who had to Google all of these statistics, which pan out to be not as obtrusive and anti-left as you say they are, do you not think that's at the worst incompetent, and at the best incompetent, and at the worst malicious?
You're asking him to be extremely charitable, that he have to present both sides of arguments. Like he's not debating people, he's lecturing as a moderate. Are you charitable enough? You literally call a baby, and at the same time say it's not a baby. And you want him to be charitable? Come on, bro.
You're entitled to your own opinion, not entitled to your own facts. Let's talk about the Cuban one. I reject the own Cuban government's health statistics completely and totally. I don't believe the socialist governments of Cuba's health statistics that they submit to the World Health Organization or the United Nations, because objective, independent analysis of their own health standards are nearly 20 to 30 years behind life expectancy that their own government produces. So what you're looking at is corroborated by people that want it to be true. And we can have a 30-minute discussion over whether you believe the Cuban health statistics, but the answer is, show me another statistic of anything I've talked about in the 300 hours that Candice and I have done, public speaking. Everything I talk about, everything I do is rooted in years of research and backing and data, and I'm happy to talk about each specific one. I don't want to monopolize the time here, but I reject the premise and the insinuation that somehow I'm being reckless, because facts are not reckless. In fact, it's the basis of why we're here and what we believe.
You successfully pivoted away from the intention of my question.
Dude just pivoted away from abortion, and now he's accusing Charlie Kirk of doing the same thing after he literally lectured him for 2 minutes straight. He cannot even hold it for 20 seconds.
The way that you phrase them.
So I phrase them effectively, and that should be a problem?
No, it's not about effectively as defined by you, as in it promotes your agenda.
You pivoted quickly away from the abortion thing.
Can I please finish my... Huh?
Happy to, yeah.
I pivoted away from the abortion thing, not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because it made me uncomfortable to do so.
Do you think do you think it's effective the way I worded it, because maybe it made you think a way you never had to think before?
He's saying that you say facts, but there are also alternative facts that would maybe present socialism and communism in a better way.
You're saying it's unfair because of the way he's saying them, not because of...
Because from what I'm getting, you're saying that he's...
That's called a debate.
Yeah, essentially what you're saying is he's too good at presenting his argument.
You've mischaracterized what I'm truly saying here, which is that you're not trying to genuinely convince people. You seem to be, from the presentation of the facts that I've given you as an example, phrasing truths in a very specific way and choosing to ignore things that present it in a more balanced way to basically trick people, right?
So you have the most intellectually lazy attack, that the way you're framing is kind of dishonest. That literally indicates that you don't have an argument.
Look, fact. No, seriously. Hear me out, man.
Facts are unfair.
Facts, right? Facts don't care about your feelings, right? Facts are objective statehoods, right? But the way that you choose to present them, right? It's like saying if a statistic is 68%, you can't just rearrange the 68 to say 86, right? Hear me out, because that is just lying.
You could rearrange it to say 32, no? You could rearrange it to say 32, the other way around. Those are both factual statements. If you say 68%...
Do I need the mic? I can hear me. Oh, sure. The way that you're choosing to... the way that you're choosing to talk about statistics, the things that you're choosing to neglect that present things in a more balanced way, indicates that your objective here isn't to convince people based on the whole truth, but in fact to play off of people's inability to quickly respond by asking for sources. Like if you provided a source, I'm struggling to articulate this, but it's just...
Their ability to talk so long and saying literally nothing is impressive.
With the example I gave you about the Democrat cities, right? That's a pretty condemning statistic that the worst cities, to summarize, are mostly Democratic.
Yeah,
but you didn't present the whole statistic, and that was a very purposeful choice. If you look up that study,
Charlie's not going to debate himself. I don't this is very confusing
because it's not
to
a game,
me.
Candace, is it?
But you just said when he goes on campuses and he debates with people that he's not presenting facts that would try to destroy the fact that he just gave. That's the concept of a debate.
Facts, Candace. I don't see what you're not understanding here.
That's what it's called a debate.
Because it's not about, the point of a debate, if you care about humanity, if you care about improving people's welfare, should be to present objective facts based on independent studies and decide which is what Charlie does, but choosing to neglect the entirety of the factual statement.
Okay, I think this is now turning into like a Yelp review of Charlie Kirk, and I'm not really getting
because
the point
he's an influential man, and his practices, and everyone's practices need to be scrutinized,
but I'm saying
and yours are semantically
I wish you actually I wish you actually would just debate Charlie. That I think would be more productive for everybody here.
I do appreciate you coming up and saying this. I will issue a challenge to the world. Anyone can come prepared with any hundreds of pages of documents to debate me, and I wish them well. Thank you.
Alright, what the hell was that? It was supposed to be a debate or a lecture? Dude had nothing. He was literally asking Charlie to debate himself. I genuinely think Charlie never lost a debate. Every single time he was prepared with facts, and the other side is prepared with feelings. Let me know what you guys think.